country of 1.4 billion, the world's most populous. The mass of people on India's streets is often hard to fathom. Equally hard to imagine the massive backlog plaguing India's court system.
This desperation, it's become so monumental. I think we're pretty much in panic mode.
The court's completely overwhelmed, with lawsuits moving at a glacial pace and paperwork piling up.
Oh my God, there are papers stacked from floor to ceiling. It's amazing anything gets done. I don't think anyone in Canada can even comprehend the scale.
There are tens of millions of cases, both civil and criminal, wending their way through India's judicial system, a docket that would take several hundred years to clear fully.
The feeling that we can't do anything about it, it's too late.
This is simply charge sheet number 1.
For Sanjay Gal, these piles of documents are a painful reminder of a decades-long nightmare, a fight for justice he's been waging since 2003, when his mother, Canadian Dr. Asha Gal, was brutally murdered while visiting family in Mumbai.
And it's like Groundhog Day. Files have disappeared. Files have been found months later.
The case appears open and shut. There's a confession from one of the attackers, DNA evidence. And yet, 22 years later, Sanjay is still flying back and forth from Vancouver to Mumbai for hearing after hearing.
It's beyond my comprehension. And it's a constant process of, the judge didn't come today, it's raining, this, that.
The delay's also excruciating for Sudirman Daval, who's now settling back into his everyday, embracing the mundane. After this, his joyful release from the jail where he was held for 6.5 years, just waiting for bail. In prison, all we did was wait. It was awful, Daval says. People keep getting date after date for more hearings, but nobody knows when their ordeal will end. He's long been an activist, fighting discrimination against India's lower castes, often using protest songs like this one. So Daval always suspected his case, following his arrest for allegedly inciting caste violence, would drag on. But it was even worse than he feared. The charge sheet against me is 25,000 pages long. The prosecutors couldn't decide how to frame the case, he says. There are more than 300 witnesses listed. Years went by, 2 of them spent in solitary confinement before Daval finally got bail. A judge ruled he had suffered an inordinate delay, and still Daval's trial is looming. His is just one case of the more than 52 million pending in India. Some 6 million lawsuits have been dragging on for more than 10 years, and the reasons for all the delays are almost too numerous to count. India's court system, inherited from the British, is rigid, archaic. There are endless oral arguments with no time limit, all of which needs to be transcribed, plus long written submissions and piles of witness testimonies, often jotted down by hand. The other main issue, there aren't enough judges in this country. Only 15 judges for every million Indians, a terribly low ratio, and vacancies take ages to be filled. It's almost incomprehensible for retired Supreme Court Justice Madan Lokar.
No serious attempt has been made to try and tackle the backlog. The vacancies, even if recommendations are made, the vacancies are not being filled up.
And at the High Court level, it's 40% vacancy.
Roughly 40%, yeah.
There are also cases clogging the system that probably shouldn't end up in court. In India, it's a criminal offense to bounce a check instead of just a fine.
There are hundreds of thousands of such cases that are pending. It had become so critical that at one point of time, there were almost 1,000 cases being filed in a day in Delhi.
A staggering problem so hard to solve that there have only been slight attempts to tackle India's overburdened courts.
It saves the recording and transcribes later.
Artificial intelligence could make a dent, says retired Bombay High Court Judge Gautam Patel.
It does the capitalization already.
He's using a new program called Adalat AI. It can transcribe court proceedings in real time, a potential game changer that Patel discovered after he retired.
Well, my initial reaction is, where have you been all my life? It's just a far more efficient process running through and saves an incredible amount of time.
But he says it will take much more to actually start to address India's judicial backlog.
The date just keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
And with each aborted hearing, the toll on Sanjay Gal and his family deepens.
I'm trying my best, but it's tiring. I just turned 60 in October. I never thought I would be at this point and trying to do this.
Even through the exhaustion and the frustration, he says he feels lucky that he even has the means to keep pushing, to see his mother's killers behind bars. But his father is now in his late 80s.
And it's hard to look at him and say, Dad, I've done what's expected of me. I made a promise. And I need to fulfill that promise as best I can.
The pain of justice not yet served, at times too hard to bear.